Good afternoon. Today is Wednesday, July 3rd, 2025. This is a meeting of the County of Paso.
It is Thursday.
Sorry, I apologize, my days are off, but today's Thursday, July 3rd, 2025. This is a meeting of the County of El Paso Ethics Commission. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 3 is public comment. We have one speaker signed up for public comment, Ms. Michelle Cochran.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Michelle Cochran with County Administration. I just wanted to take this opportunity to formally introduce Ms. Destiny Brooks. She is appointed by the Civil Service Commission for their seat on the Ethics Commission. Destiny, if you'd like to introduce yourself to everybody.
My name is Destiny Brooks. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Excited to have you. Thank you.
And that completes the public comment. Item number 4 from the regular agenda, 4A, approval of the minutes for the regular meeting of April 3rd, 2025.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Michelle Cochran with County Administration. On the screen, you'll see the minutes from last meeting. I'll just scroll through slowly. Julie, are you able to see on your side?
Yes, I can see them. Thank you.
If there are no corrections or questions, I would request a motion to approve the minutes.
Move to approve the minutes.
Thank you, Commissioner. We have a second? Ryan Levers.
A motion by Commissioner Nino, second by Commissioner Clevenger. Commissioner Clevenger?
Aye.
Commissioner Nino?
Aye.
Commissioner Martinez?
Aye.
Commissioner Maldonado?
Aye.
Commissioner Jurado?
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks?
Aye.
Commissioner Antoine is absent and Commissioner Benoit is absent. Motion carries.
Did you say Commissioner Person?
No, she's the chair.
Oh, she, that's right. Thank you so much, Anna.
Item 4B, discuss and take appropriate action to select the chair for term September 1st, 2025 through February 28th, 2026.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Michelle Cochran with County Administration. As you recall, or for those of you who are new, we vote a chair per the statute every 6 months to this commission. So currently, Ms. Julie, I don't know why it's not showing this, is our chair. And this term is for September 1st through February of next year. And so at this time, we open up the floor for either a nomination for a chair, a self-nomination, and then we would need approval of all of that as well. And just for a reminder for ourselves too, because I just forgot, for this, the chair doesn't vote. The chair only votes if there is a tie. And that's for any votes for whomever is appointed chair for that term.
Can the same chair remain?
He can.
Would you like to?
I would like to nominate. Is she open to it?
Are you open to serving another chair term?
Certainly. Thank you.
Motion from Commissioner Martinez to nominate Ms. Summerford Pearson for chair. Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Maldonado seconds. Just 1 second and Jessica will call for the vote.
All right, Commissioner Clevenger?
Aye.
Commissioner Nino?
Aye.
Commissioner Martinez?
Aye.
Commissioner Maldonado?
Aye.
Commissioner Jurado?
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 4C, review terms of the Preliminary Standing Review Committee for term September 1, 2025 through February 28, 2026.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Michelle Cochran with County Administration. Per the statute, similar to the chair, there's a rotation of the Preliminary Review Committee. As a reminder, this committee is the committee that reviews any complaints that come in to determine whether or not they are within the purview of the Ethics Commission to go through the full-fledged complaint process. It is a set rotation, no action is necessary. Rotating in for the term September 1st through next February is our Commissioner Precinct 3 appointee and our Dispute Resolution Center appointee. So it would be Chris Benoit and Ms. Nancy Nino would be our PRC individuals for the next term period. Okay, any questions? Well, we don't call lunch. Next item.
Item 4D, discuss and take appropriate action regarding statement of financial interest submissions for all department heads and elected officials report.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Michelle Cochran with County Administration. As a requirement under the Ethics Code, all department heads and elected officials are required to submit a statement of financial interest annually. This is due at the end of April every year and is published online on our website. I'm happy to report that we had 100% compliance rate this year for everybody. And so all of that information is available online now. Any questions?
Take no action for item 4D.
We're not going to take the action. Not to accept the report. It's posted for action.
Oh, I apologize. Yes, we do need to accept the report.
Okay. Do we have a motion to accept?
Motion.
Commissioner Hidalgo and second by Commissioner Nino.
Yes.
Commissioner Clevenger.
Aye.
Commissioner Nino.
Aye.
Commissioner Martinez.
Aye.
Commissioner Maldonado.
Aye.
Commissioner Hidalgo. Aye. Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 4E, discuss and take appropriate action regarding the training compliance report for persons covered by the Code of Ethics.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Michelle Cochran with County Administration. I am happy to report a positive, again, once more, ethics training compliance report. While we are not quite at 100%, we have 14 individuals who have not, and all 14 of those are on extended protected leave.
It's changed a whole lot.
So-
Great.
That's really good.
Yeah, from when we started, I remember the first one, it was, yeah.
Yes, it was not great. And a huge kudos to, I will share with you, Deborah Cole from Human Resources. She has helped tremendously on the administrative side of this. If you recall, you directed us just to do more outreach to departments, and that has, as you see, made a huge difference in the report, especially with the Sheriff's Office. They're such a large department with people being out. I think it's pretty impressive that they are able to be at the completion percentage that they're.
Not to jinx it, Michelle, but do you think this is why maybe we're not receiving reports? People are being put at tasks.
I'd like to
More
think there's a
ethical?
correlation, Commissioner, yes. I do think overall, the county has been through a lot, and we pride ourselves on being ethical. And, you know, for those of you that were here, we didn't want to take punitive measures to get to this point. And so I think just being more present and prevalent, I would like to think it has a.
How long has it been since we've had a report come in?
Oh, to my knowledge, it has always been reported to the ethics commission.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh.
That's since we've had like a complaint. Another complaint
Oh.
that has come through.
It's also been a while.
2021 or 20, financial offices and county training. I would say it's 2021 or 2022. I think we had two submissions and there wasn't a jurisdiction with either, but that was
Okay.
the last time I recall.
Okay. It's good.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, of course.
We'll have a motion to accept.
Is there, I don't.
It is posted for discuss to take action, but we don't have to. But it's up to the commission whether to take action or not, but it is posted for action if you want to accept the report.
What's the year frame on it? Just for clarification, like
We report quarterly
quarterly.
to you all. So this was for the last quarter. July 3rd, as of July 3rd.
I'll make the motion to accept.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Commissioner Clevenger.
Aye.
Commissioner Nino.
Aye.
Commissioner Martinez.
Aye.
Commissioner Maldonado.
Aye.
Commissioner Podato.
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 4F, discuss and take appropriate action regarding Section 8, post-employment restrictions of the Ethics Code.
Good afternoon, Commissioner Michelle Cochran with County Administration. We've had this item come to our attention, and it is regarding the post-employment restrictions as outlined in the Ethics Code. Currently, this is how it is, how it reads. County officers and department heads are prohibited from knowingly conducting county business with a former county officer or department head that was separated from office or employment in the previous 2 years in which the former county officer is currently compensated as a representative of another person or entity. This prohibition includes any business matter in which the former county officer or department head was either personally involved or that was within his responsibility while a county officer or department head. Non-elected department heads are prohibited from knowingly hiring any person who has served as a county officer in the previous year. And finally, this does not prohibit the practice of law before any court within El Paso County. The reason this is coming up is certain things when individuals are department heads or county officers, as it's referred to here in the code, they become a subject matter expert in that area. And so if that individual leaves, there have been instances where there's been a gap in knowledge, and it would benefit the county to be able to contract with or connect with that individual as the subject matter expert for that historical knowledge, because it just doesn't exist. There are just nuances to county government that are not, readily available. Subject matter experts aren't readily available. And so we wanted to bring this to your attention to see if you all would entertain or be interested in amending the language to allow for that in certain circumstances. And we could look, you could direct us to look at other language, what other individuals or other counties, might be doing, or if you have any thoughts on that, we would ask for that discussion this time.
Can you give us an example?
I'll use a generic example that hopefully we all can apply. Information technology, right? Everybody needs it, everybody has it, but here at the county, because we don't get software updated regularly, right? We have maybe some software that is 30 years old, but still necessary, and whoever worked on this, well, now they're of retirement age, retired, but trying to integrate it with a new system. Newer employees don't have that historical knowledge or don't understand maybe how things were built or set up. And maybe it's very soon after that individual retires. And we would benefit perhaps from hiring them as a consultant or for some sort of reference to have. That would be a broad example that I could share with you where this would prevent the county from doing so. And then, well, that would essentially kind of hold us back in moving forward with some new software, if you will. Or we wouldn't be able to use it to its full capacity or potential.
So it would behoove you guys to be able to say, if I used to work with you and now I'm retired, it would behoove you to say, hey, can you we want to contract you, come out with this software since you're so knowledgeable.
Right, we don't have that knowledge with anybody else currently.
Right now you can't do that.
Correct. We can't
Is
do
there
that.
a reasoning why?
I'm not sure about that, Commissioner. I wasn't here when this was created. I can't speak to why this was added in the code. The only thing I can think of historically is...
Yeah, in the previous 2 years, so it's a 2-year cap. So theoretically, someone wouldn't leave the county and then they would be hired back at a higher rate potentially as a consultant.
This doesn't go against like a conflict of interest, say handbook policy, something like that. Yeah, this goes.
It would still have to comply.
Still have to comply with.
It would still have to comply with the ethics code, which includes all of that, as does procurement laws prohibits any of those conflicts with contracts when we contract with individuals.
Would we then expect that person that's brought back I guess, their amount of compensation would have to be determined based on what they can actually receive, if they're receiving their retirement and their social security.
I don't know that
That'd be
we
like a
would,
whole separate, that would be up to them to do that, not involve the county at that point.
correct. I would say correct, because to my knowledge, it would be a contract with the county, not on a payroll basis. So I think we get into those issues with retirement or social security or taxes when they are an employee and on our payroll versus a contractor.
It would be the contractor's responsibility, it wouldn't fall back here. So say you paid above the rate they should have been paid and they owe the federal government money back.
That would be on them.
On them, but there's not gonna be anything that's gonna fall back on the county.
Right, because we don't pull taxes out of payments to
Okay,
contractors.
all right.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I was assuming that this was put in place because of some abuse, around this. Other than that, and not knowing exactly what that is, I think that I would be open to lifting this. It would be interesting to know a use case of, I guess you just gave it, that people would leave the county and then be hired back at a higher rate. Not knowing any more about why it would be prohibited, I'd be open to language to lift it or to remove it.
Have you ever had any issues with it this way?
Not
Or-
currently, not up to this point in time, but
2 years ago, 3 years ago?
not to my knowledge, Commissioner Nino. But with the workforce aging out,
Yeah.
I think we're coming into some situations where
Yeah.
what I just explained is happening. There's long tenured employees who have that historical knowledge, newer employees coming in who don't. Maybe that knowledge isn't transferred or could very well be forgotten sometimes, right? Or we don't think it's necessary, and it all of a sudden is.
Yeah, that was my question would be if the language is amended, how often do we anticipate hiring contractors? Is this going to be a one-off thing every once in a while, or you guys expect it to be frequently happening?
From what I understand, it will not be a frequent thing. It will be on an as-needed basis, and if you all want, we can even write in some sort of approval or that they have to come to the ethics commission to explain the situation.
I think that makes sense. Anything that we could put in there to add a layer of confirmation and comfort for, that this is, that this is not being done haphazardly or without others' knowledge.
And perhaps having that piece, that approval piece or presentation piece to the ethics commission would prevent it from being abused. I don't think it would, but it would be a safeguard for the county to do.
Which also, this would also, these individuals would have left in good standing, right? That they left the
And we
county,
can clarify
that they
that.
left in good standing, that they weren't terminated or asked to leave, or they just walked off the job.
That's not currently explicitly stated, but that could be language if you would like us to include that we could bring back as a recommended edit.
Yeah, I like that, like Julie said, and then so we can do that and then put up there and as approved by the Paso County Ethics Board.
Okay.
Don't you all think?
Yeah.
That way, I feel like we're voting on something we're not really sure about.
Yeah.
2 years is a kind of benchmark per se. And we landed on 2 years.
Just kind of add on to it. What do you think, Julie? Like add
I
on
was
to it?
going to say, is there another approval route? I'm afraid that, would it slow a hire down too much if the approval had to come to us?
Potentially, that would be a logistical consideration. You could delegate that authority to the county administrator. If this policy is amended and approved, it would go.
We only meet quarterly or so. We need somebody
hired immediately.
We could always call a special meeting. I don't know how, how quickly.
Can we do it on Zoom?
Unfortunately, we have to have an in-person quorum in order to take any formal action. But those are some considerations. You could delegate that approval authority, and we could develop parameters like have left in good standing or other things for that individual to ensure. Or we could leave it as the Ethics Commission and call a special session in the event of needing that.
But one of my concerns, you have that 2-year window. What if the person that took over takes 2 years to have them maybe realize they haven't gotten it, they don't understand what the issues are, and they hire yet another person, but now that 2 years has passed, and that subject matter expert isn't allowed to come back in because that window's been closed on that person.
Say that again, Commissioner.
Okay, so you have a person who's taken over a position,
Okay.
and they're working the position, and right towards the end of the 2 years of them, they just not getting it. It didn't happen, it didn't work. You bring that other person in, but because a 2-year time limit is coming into play, you can't bring them on anymore because of that 2-year limitation you're giving that person.
Well, the way I understand how the code is currently written, in that example, they would be able to rehire that individual after that 2-year expiration time period.
So the expiration time period is the position that is currently hired, not the one that left.
The one that left,
Okay, so if they pass the 2-year time limit.
they're rehirable at that.
Oh, okay, they're
It's no longer
rehirable.
left.
Okay, got it.
But I mean, theoretically, I mean, if this person doesn't turn out well, they can be fired, right? But
Correct. And I mean, I don't want to speak for future administration or courts, but I can't, and this is why this is in place. Never mind, I just don't say it. I can't imagine they would want to hire somebody who left on bad terms, on bad standing.
right.
I don't imagine anybody would want Paso to stop, but it could happen, and this is why this is in place more than likely. So.
I guess maybe what I would suggest is, lifting this with the approval. Maybe we go ahead and do approval of Ethics Commission. And since it sounds like this is not something that's going to happen frequently, and if that is just not workable, if we find that there's too long of a delay, then maybe we rethink it at that point. But just by lifting this with that additional approval, we're providing more flexibility. So, and it's pretty conservative if we have to approve it. Does that make sense?
And did I miss anything?
No, I think what you all could do is, I think Michelle has some direction for today to come back with proposed language that encapsulates essentially this being conditional upon essentially the Ethics Commission making, I guess, like granting a waiver of that requirement. And so that will come back, do you want to say next meeting for their review and approval?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
We will take no official action for item 4F. That completes all the items on the agenda. Do you all make a motion to adjourn?
You don't need a motion.
No? Okay. So we complete today's meeting at 2:04 p.m.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry for the delay, but I appreciate it. You all have a good holiday, everyone.
You too. Thanks. Bye all.
Bye-bye.
You know,